Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee L Summit Reserve. Up front is a 5.7 liter V8 and down below is an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this here Jeep Grand Cherokee L Summit Reserve for a bunch of reasons. First of all, this is all new for 2021, so this is the first model year of the Cherokee L Summit Reserve. The Cherokee has been around for quite some time, but L is the larger version of it. The Summit Reserve is new for 2021, as well as they redesigned the exterior and interior fully for 2021. So this is a very new vehicle. The second reason is the fact that just by sitting in here for the first couple minutes, I can already tell that this is a very high quality vehicle, as well as it has all of the bells and whistles offered. So strap in, boys and girls, this is gonna be a long one. But before we get on with the rest of the video, if you are looking to help out the channel, there are some awesome links from our sponsors in the description below. There's an OBD2 Bluetooth sensor that will pair to your smartphone. There are con plates, which is a suction cup license plate mount for the front of your vehicle. And there's Cash for Cars if you're looking to sell your vehicle. Thank you to our sponsors, but let's get on with the video. So let's get back to that 5.7 liter V8 making 357 horsepower. Well, it's the 5.7 Hemi that Dodge, Mopar, Jeep has been using for years and years and years. That's nothing new. However, something that's very interesting is the fact that this is offered with a V8. If you look at a bunch of other vehicles in this class, because this is a unibody Jeep where the Wagoneer, that's the body on frame, more true off-roader, vehicles in this segment that are unibody with the third row, like the Honda Pilot, only comes with a V6. Kia Telluride comes with a V6. Chevy Traverse only comes with a V6. Mazda CX-9 only comes with a turbo inline 4. If you want a V8 in this class, it's harder and harder to find vehicles that actually offer it, unless you want to go up to like a Tahoe, again, a body-on-frame vehicle as opposed to unibody. So the 5.7 actually differentiates this SUV from a lot of other vehicles in its class. However, there is a V6 offered in this as well. You can get a V6 in the Cherokee, but this is the 5.7 V8, and I've liked them. I've always liked them. These Hemis have been pretty good, pretty reliable over the years. Early Hemi V8 suffered from cylinder deactivation issues, but it seems to be sort of cleared up nowadays. Like I said, paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, it's nice, smooth, calm, and quiet. Nothing really to note there. Last but not least, this is 4-wheel drive, and we'll talk about how to select that a little bit later on. Now we gotta talk about the interior. This is where it becomes quite the mouthful. Well, in front of me, I have digital gauges. On the left is a tachometer, in the center is my speed, and on the right is a more traditional speedometer with fuel at the bottom and coolant at the bottom as well. However, if I hit the right button, it will turn on night vision. So this has a night vision camera fitted to the front. It's part of the technology package that includes this night vision camera, the auto dimming rear view mirror, as well as camera rear view mirror, and the heads up display, which we'll get to in a second. But I actually have night vision with person and animal detection. So it's basically a heat camera found in the front grille of the Cherokee L. When you come up on things that are warmer, like a person, like an animal, they actually show up as white. So this is really, really important, which right now I'm driving through cornfields and back roads. In the night, it is very hard to see animals and people when there's no street lights. This is fantastic. I would leave this on 24/7. And what's really cool is that, as you can tell, it's daytime today and it's still working. It's actually not true night vision, it's more heat vision. So it actually is helpful during the day. The funny thing is that when you drive by a car, I don't really have any way to show it, their wheels turn up bright white because they're so hot from rubbing on the road, which is just, it's such a cool feature. I feel like James Bond with a heat-seeking missile or something. But no, I'm just driving my Jeep. That is really, really cool. Up above it, another part of that technology package is the heads-up display. It gives me my speed limit, my current speed, which road I'm approaching, as well as my cruise control settings, we'll talk about in a second. On the steering wheel on the left, I have my controls for the center gauges, phone options, things like that. And on the right, I do have my cruise control options. So this has level 2 self-driving, meaning it has radar cruise control paired with steering. So as long as your hand is physically touching the steering wheel, it will actually steer for you, which is really, really cool. I'll try to demonstrate it now. All right, so this is my demonstration for the level 2 of self-driving. Basically, I have it in radar cruise control mode right now. I have it set to 45, and I'm just cruising along here. Now, I do have to keep touching the steering wheel. See, it'll turn yellow, tells me to, hey, touch it again. And I'm just lightly resting my thumb really on the inner pad, and it seems to be picking it up. I can also set it up here. Let's actually do the speed limit instead of 10 under. And hopefully this road should get curvy here in a second. It seems to be doing a little bit of adjusting here and there, but nothing too crazy at all. This is an old Illinois back road, so I can't imagine it's the straightest thing in the world. It seems to be doing its own pretty well here. Not too much of a ping pong effect. You know, a couple of other brands like Ford kind of has a bad ping pong to it, where it'll just kind of go back and forth in the lane all day long. This seems to be pretty adequate and holding the center pretty well. So I don't know how much you can see on video. I'll tilt it up here a little bit. There's a curve coming up here. Let's see how the Cherokee L does with this turn. All right, starting to adjust a little bit. Oh, yep, it's turning pretty much seamlessly. And there we go. Very light turn. I mean, obviously that wasn't the biggest turn in the world, but for a car doing it on its own, that's pretty good. And this is definitely a very nice feature to have in the Grand Cherokee L. I would imagine on a lot of road trips and such that this would be quite the impressive and helpful feature. Just one more time for viewers, now we have a right-hand turn coming up, or a slight more gradual right-hand turn. My hand is barely touching the steering wheel now. It probably looks like it on camera, but it actually isn't. Okay, I got scared there for a second. You saw me grip it, but honestly, it's doing it. There it is. Wow, that is really impressive. Technology is great. The steering wheel overall feels very nice. The leather's very nice. I get the oak wood accents here on the steering wheel as well. And I get paddle shifters around the back if that's something I'd want to do. To the left of me, this is actually where we see our first Macintosh speaker. I believe that's how you pronounce it. M-C-I-N-T-O-S-H, Macintosh, whatever. This is the speaker system found in the Cherokee, and it's awesome. I mean, it's really, really, truly awesome. On the door, up at the very top, we have more oak wood accents, as well as my massage features. So these are massage seats. We'll talk about that with the center screen. 2 different memory seat options, and then on the door, I have my power mirrors, power windows, and power locks. Everything on the door feels very solid. I love the stitching as well in the door. It's just really, really nice. Moving into the center, up at the very top, I have some interesting buttons. I have my lane keep assist on and off, traction control on and off, my hazard switch, parking assist, and steering assist on and off. However, as you'll notice, there's 2 blank switches on either side. That blank switch on the far left is actually for the automatic start-stop on and off. If you buy the V6, it will automatically shut off at stoplights to save fuel. I hate this feature, but if you buy the V8, it actually doesn't have that feature. The 5.7 does not get the automatic start-stop. So there's no button for it, which is just fantastic. Then we have the center screen, so let's pull over and talk about that. All right, so let's talk Jeep infotainment. Strap in, we have a lot to do. Well, first of all, let's start off with this. We do get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, of course, and it is wireless Apple CarPlay, which is just fantastic. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Let's go home here. Here we have a bunch of our home screen stuff. Media we can go to. I'll play this in a second if you're wondering what that is. Then we have our comfort, so I can adjust my climate controls in the center screen if I'd like to. Could change fan speeds off, things like that. I can also go to my massage features. So like I said, we do have massage seats for the driver and passenger. I can do a waterfall. There we go. And I'll sort of do a waterfall cascade down my back. I really, really love that. Like I said, we also get CarPlay, but now we can go to vehicle. So we have a couple interesting things. First of all, I have the mirror dimmer, so I can dim the mirror and such from the touch of a button. I can also lower the third row's headrest from the touch of a button. I also have a surround camera. So if we click on this, I do have a 360 camera over here, and this is a backup camera currently, but I can switch between a couple different things. This is my front view with the 360, just the back view, and I can change angles like that as well. Something really cool also is that you'll see down in the bottom, it says clean camera. How is it going to clean the camera? Well, like that. And I can actually see the mist up above the windshield. It actually sprays and will clean the camera for you, which is really, really cool. Most cars don't offer that. So we can back out of here. I can also do the fam cam. So behind me, there are cameras so I can keep a close eye on my children if I were to have any. The nice thing is I can also click on a particular seat and it will zoom in. So if I particularly dislike one single kid, I can single them out and say, hey, stop doing that, or whatever it might be. I also have a forward-facing camera. I can just toggle on and off again. That was the camera I just cleaned. And I can do the rear view camera as well. Coming back over here to apps, we have a bunch of really cool things. I have Alexa. Ambient color is really cool, so I can change the ambient color. I don't get a whole ton of options like what is offered in Chevys. However, I can also change top and bottom, so up here will be different than down there, and they can be colors independent of one another. Coming back to apps, I also have Apple CarPlay, audio settings, blah, blah, blah. Pretty standard stuff. I'll try to go through here if you'd like to just take a look. Forward cam I can also get, face cam. But the interesting thing is Macintosh. So, like I said, this comes with a Macintosh sound system, and I actually get these awesome output level gauges, these old style gauges, which is really cool. So I have queued up here. This is actually my intro song for next year, so you're getting a little preview of it. It's the only song I physically own, so. It sounds so good. This sound system is very crisp. That doesn't have a whole lot of bass in that, but the bass in other songs that are copywritten that I can't use is just fantastic. I mean, so good. And I love this retro look. I mean, how cool is that? God, it's so cool. I also get my off-road pages. So, like SRT Hellcats have their performance pages, this is my off-road pages. Has coolant temperature, oil pressure, trans temperature, and battery voltage. With this background, it is very hard to read those, by the way. Not a huge fan of that. I can also look at my pitch and roll. I can also look at that. That's a cool kind of, let's get a quick video of that again. It's kind of a cool Tron style screen. Not really sure what it's all there for, but suspension, I can take a look and see what the suspension is currently doing. I can also raise and lower it from here. Again, another way to access the forward-facing camera and things of that nature. It gives me my altitude, latitude, and longitude, all of that really fun stuff. I think that's pretty much it for the interesting apps found in here, which that is a fair amount. The off-road pages, the Macintosh, everything like that. I can also go to vehicle, and that just brings us back to these settings. Tons of stuff in here, and something I will comment on is the actual quality of the screen. It's very, very nice. It is very responsive. And since we always talk about it, take a look at the cameras. The camera quality is equally, if not even way better. And I love this screen. This screen is fantastic. Down below the center screen, I do get some adjustments, and this is where my first issue with the Grand Cherokee comes in. These are piano black, and you're supposed to touch them. This car was purchased yesterday, has just over 300 miles on it, and it already looks like crap from just touching it. And so, literally day one of ownership, it now looks terrible. I don't know why auto manufacturers do this piano black. It pisses me off. It pisses everyone else off. It doesn't look good on touch surfaces. If you don't have to touch it, great. But I do have to touch it, which is annoying. Then I have my climate controls. I love the fact that I get physical climate controls. Don't like that they're piano black, but I like that they're physical. I get my heated and ventilated seat options, dual zone climate, of course, as well as screen and mute buttons. And then down below, I have a little opening center console with two USBs, a USB-C and traditional, two of each, and a 12-volt outlet that works off the key. This is also a wireless charging pad down below, which is nice for that wireless Apple CarPlay. And then we come to the center console itself. On the left, I have my different drive modes. So I have rock, sand/mud, snow, auto, and sport. And then on the right, I have my different ride height options. So this is fitted with air suspension, and I can adjust how high or low the vehicle is. However, when you park the car, it automatically goes into low. When you put it into four-wheel drive, it automatically goes to high. Things like that, it will choose sometimes, but if I want to auto-adjust it myself, like for purposes of this video you're seeing now, I can do that, which is really, really nice. In the center, I get the shifter just for park, reverse, neutral, and drive. And then I get my auto holding brake, 4-wheel drive low, and my hill descent control in buttons down below. Now, something I want to comment before we move on to the cup holders is the fact that these buttons feel exquisite. They honestly feel like they were hand carved out of steel. They have a nice, solid feel to them. I don't feel like they're cheap. They're not going to break off. And that's something that has been missing from Jeeps for a long, long time. I've always thought the switches inside of them felt cheap, felt flimsy. You pay for that off-road capability, not the inside material, but yet this Jeep is changing my opinion completely. Then we do have cup holders, so we'll do a big friggin' bottle test here in the Jeep Grand Cherokee L, and unfortunately, they do not pass. The bottle wants to go in, but it doesn't seat all the way in the bottom, so I can't give it a pass. Then I get a little center console, nothing too crazy there, but then we have the seats. The seats are heated, ventilated, power, memory, and massage. I don't know what else you could physically want from a seat, especially here in 2021. I can't imagine wanting anything else. The massage features aren't that aggressive. Of the 3 manufacturers that I've driven, Ford, Lexus, and Mercedes, with their massage features, they have been more aggressive than this. This is a very light version. However, I'm not complaining at all that I have massage seats. I'm gonna shut up and be grateful. But speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee L Summit Reserve, and first of all, the first thing I noticed back here is the seats are very hard. They're very, very hard. However, they are finished in the same leather the front seats are. I have the nice Macintosh speakers back here as well. The nice stitching carries on back here. I get 2 cup holders. I get climate controls down here, as well as I get 4 USB ports and a wall 115 volt outlet, which is just fantastic. Of course, auto windows, everything like that. I have vents up on the B pillars, get little LED lights, and I get to enjoy the sunroof, which is very, very nice. I also get the center console, which is pretty interesting because as you're seeing on camera now, I'm opening it this way, but then the back can actually open it another way, and I can either access it from here as well, or the back can use it as their storage compartment. So it is a dual purpose storage compartment, which I absolutely love. Speaking of the third row, let's hop into the third row and give you a review from back there. All things considered, not very hard to get in the back here. As you can see, you just pull up on the chair, you move it forward, and that's it. It's all mechanical. It's no power at all. Once I am back here, not a whole ton of room. You're not really going to experience that. I am a very big guy, so me not fitting back here is not anything crazy. And down here, I actually have controls to power fold these seats. So if you come in through here, you want to fold these seats down, you can hit these and actually fold them down. I will now cut to a clip of me accidentally closing them on myself, but luckily the car knows not to do that. Whoops, not the best. So let's hop around the very back. We'll talk about the cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, so around the back of the Grand Cherokee L, hit the button there. It does have a power tailgate, which is fantastic. And once we're back here, not a whole ton of space, probably about, I don't know, maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet behind the seats. However, I can lower all 4 of the chairs up there from just the touch of these buttons. I also have this hold to set the height button and a 12 volt outlet over here that runs off the battery. Very nice for camping or anything of the such. So as you can see, power seats, but there are child seats in this one, so it should reject it here in a second. Yep, and I'll send it back up. It senses something, but there's no child seats here. See, it sensed that, bumped it a little bit like it bumped me earlier, and is right back up. Nothing really else too crazy back here besides I can also hit the button and it'll power raise back up from the dead. And that is it. Now we gotta talk about the looks. This is finished in red velvet metallic with the black roof accent. Seems to be a trend here in the 2020s of doing black roofs, and I like the fact that the roof is actually separated by that sort of silver strip. I think this was a really good redesign because it still captures what a Jeep looks like, however making it still look fresh and new, and I can really appreciate that. And I love this color. I think Jeep, Mopar, Chrysler, whatever, they have very, very good colors. But now let's get to my final thoughts here on the Jeep Grand Cherokee L, what is it? Altitude Reserve? Summit Reserve. Jesus. Okay, that's my first final thought. Let's get my pissiness out of the way. The trim levels of Mopar and Jeep are absolutely off the rails. They don't mean anything. There's the altitude, which is like 3 trim levels down from like the high altitude in just the regular Cherokee. The high reservation reserve, summit reserve that this vehicle is, the words don't mean anything. Go on the Jeep website, configure your own. You'll realize that the trim levels are so confusing and they change all the time. A limited on a Ram truck is like the top tier, but a limited Cherokee is like mid-range at best. It makes no sense. That pisses me off. The other thing that pisses me off are the piano black materials in here. Why Jeep did this, I have no idea, and it really, really bothers me. However, with those small gripes out of the way, let's get to my more positive final thoughts here on the Cherokee L. I love this SUV. I really, really do. I have always critiqued Jeep in the past for being great off-road, but having terrible, poor interiors. I drove a SRT8 Jeep Grand Cherokee. It was so cool. It was fast. It had that big 6.4 liter V8 that gets in your face, and boy does it move. But when I stepped inside, I felt like I was in a rental Dodge Caravan or a Dodge Neon, which isn't something you should feel when you pay a high price. Now, this Grand Cherokee is about $71,000 all said and done, fully spec'd out. You could get them as cheap as like $36,000, but this has every single option, so we're looking at, $70s. The quality in here is insane. It feels so nice. It feels so refined. It feels like the people at Jeep actually gave a crap for once. The wood accents really add to it. The high definition screens are great. The night vision is a fantastic, really cool feature. Massage seats, ventilated, heated seats. The Apple CarPlay, that Macintosh sound system. This is the exact opposite of everything I've ever known Jeep to produce. And that's good. I have historically not been a big Jeep fan, but this might make me into one. And that's saying a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Paul for letting me take out his brand new Grand Cherokee L Summit Reserve. He literally picked it up yesterday. I think he texted me as soon as he got home with it to come review it. And I was so excited to drive it. So many cool features in here. I can't thank Paul enough. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.